Welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 23.5. I'm Dan, and this week we'll be going over the releases of May 22nd, 2019. So starting out with Image Comics, we have Ascender #1, second printing. If you didn't pick up the first printing, great book. Pick up the first printing preferably, but if you can't find around, get the second printing. The hardcover collected version of Black Magic has come out by Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott. I'm a fan of horror books, horror in general. This is focused on witches and witch hunters. We follow Rowan Black, who is a cop and also a witch in a coven. Fantastic book, I recommend highly, and also beautiful presentation in this hardcover. Also out this week that I'll be picking up is Cyberforce 10. I'm a legacy reader, I guess, of Cyberforce. It's been okay. I like Matt Hawkins' writing, so I keep up with it. The art isn't as good as it was in the past, but I've enjoyed this new take on it so far. East of West Volume 9 comes out. If you haven't been reading it so far, obviously don't start with this, but I just wanted to say that it's out. Great series. Middle West #7 is out. Scotty Young with the artist's last name is Corona. Pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Scotty Young is growing as a writer quite a bit, writing more than doing art these days. Also, book 1 is out as well this week. Recommend picking it up. It's a good book. Actually, it's a really good all ages type book. Well, not all ages, but teen and up, I'd say. Monstrous 22. Not much more I can say. Marjorie Liu, Sana Takeda. Great writing, beautiful book. Recommend highly. Pick up the trades if you haven't been reading it. I'm a legacy reader of Savage Dragon, so I've kept up with it. It's become more ludicrous over the years. I mean, it was always a ludicrous book, but it's fun. Wayward hardcover book #3 comes out. It's a weird cross of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Japanese ghost stories. It's really hard to describe this. Pick up the first trade if you haven't read before. Really enjoyable. Dark Horse, not a whole lot out this week unless you are a Legend of Korra fan. That's pretty much it from them that I find interesting. IDW Ghost Tree #2. #1 did rather well. Gonna pick it up, see where it goes. Check it out if you haven't yet, just to give the book a try. And DC Comics. Highly recommend if you've never bought it before, or if you're just one of those crazy collectors who needs the big hardcover editions. Absolute Batman the Black Mirror comes out. Scott Snyder's real intro to the Bat universe. Great stories of Dick as Batman. The stories with Dick and Barbara chasing after James Gordon Jr. And it was actually Jim Gordon's a huge part of it, but James Gordon, and then seeing where he's gone since, because you never really talked about him since year 1 when he was kidnapped. Find out he's a psychopath. Just fantastic story. Really, Scott Snyder's impact on the DC universe really started with this. And it also, on the cover, has one of those iconic covers that was done by Jock for Batman Detective Comics 880. With the Joker, and it's the bats flying out. It's become one of the hardest books to find. It's amazing how much a cover can impact the sale of a book, especially on the aftermarket. Action Comics 1011 comes out. The A cover is what I'll be picking up. I don't mind the B cover, but it just didn't do it for me as much as the one for the A cover. Epting, his art's been great. Bendis has been really good on this book, and the whole Leviathan story I'm into right now. Batgirl 35, as I said last issue, not a huge fan of the writing and what's going on in the book, but the Josh Middleton covers, the B covers, are what keep me buying it, and Nothing's changed this month. Nothing has changed one iota. Uh, his covers are beautiful. There's not much more to say than that. Batman Beyond 32 is out. I'll be picking that up. It's been solid. Not spectacular, but solid. I'm a Legacy Books of Magic reader. Books of Magic number 8 comes out. Another book I'll be picking up. Tim Hunter has always been an interesting character to me, and weirdly a prototypical Harry Potter, but no one will actually acknowledge that, so I'll just keep going. Detective Comics 1004, I'm picking up the cover B Mark Brooks cover. We have now had the Arkham Knight exposed of who he or she is. If you haven't read it yet, I'll just be ambiguous about that. Going to continue on with that story and maybe find out a little bit more about he or she. Really digging it so far. I'd say David Walker's art hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been a standout on it. That would be my only complaint of it, and it's a real minor complaint. Dial H for Hero number 3 comes out. I enjoyed the first 2 parts, so I'll be keeping up with this. And Flash 71, I'll be picking up the B variant. Derek Chu is now one of my go-to artists for if I see him on a cover I'm purchasing. This is the second part of the Barry Allen Flash Year 1. And I really like what Josh Williamson and Howard Porter did in the first issue of it, where they did a slight retelling of the origin and giving it that Frank Miller-ish tweak that happened with Batman Year 1. I love the fact that Josh is getting to tell this story, and again, he's putting his fingerprint on his Flash run. And I will continue to support and buy Josh Williamson as long as he is on this book and any other book that he is on. Freedom Fighters number 6 comes out. I still like the series. It's been interesting. It's not fantastic by far, but it's a good read. Justice League Dark number 11 comes out. I haven't been buying it lately, but there's a Clayton Crane Wonder Woman B variant that I am all over. I'm definitely going to be picking up. Silencer number 17, the only real one of the New Age of Heroes that came out after Dark Knight's Metal that is really doing anything worthwhile, and it's the one I was actually looking forward to the least. And Wonder Woman 71, I'm actually for once not digging the Friesen B variant, but the cover by the Dodsons, Terry and Rachel for the A cover is way better in my opinion. Then we go to Marvel Comics. I'm going to pick it up just because I am an old school fan of it, and I just love the fact that Alpha Flight number 1 is getting a facsimile edition. There's just something really fantastic about that. I love it. And we have As Guardians of the Galaxy, not normally a pickup for me, but the B cover has a Max Lim Battle Lines Hella variant, which I absolutely love. Avengers 19 is out. It's a War of the Realms tie-in, so that does not excite me. For those who are collecting the Battle Line variants, I'm probably not going to pick this one up, but it has a Blade variant for it, also by Max Lim. Doctor Strange number 14 comes out. It's been a good read, not fantastic, but I'm looking forward to where it goes. Doctor Strange has always been one of those books where it gets interesting, declines, gets interesting again. There's also a Fantastic Four trade paperback collecting appearances of Galactus. It's called Behold Galactus. Great cover to it. I love Galactus stories, and of course, it's got the Kirby ones in there, so it's something I'd like to have just to be able to flip through. Marvel Comics Presents number 5. I'm pretty sure much like other Marvel Comics Presents, there's probably a ratio variant. So this is a book not many people order a ton of, so the ratios usually get up there in price pretty fast. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 6 comes out. I will be picking up the B variant because it's Mysterio and by Yoon Lee. And Mysterio is just one of those oddball characters. He doesn't get a whole lot of covers normally, so it's one to pick it up. And apparently, I guess there's going to be a new love interest possibly being introduced in number 6 called Starling. So might be worth just picking up on the side just to kind of keep around. For those who collect it, Mr. and Mrs. X number 11's out, and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I've long been off both of those books. And Star Wars Age of Rebellion, Jabba the Hutt number 1. There's 3 different variants. The C variant is the one I'll be picking up by Perel. There's a movie A cover, and then there's a concept art B cover. We also have Tony Stark Iron Man number 11. Been an okay book. I'm not totally in love with it, but the covers have been knockouts for the A's. Bunch of True Believers, Power Pack, Misty Knight, Spider-Girl. The Venom 14 is out. It also has a Battle Lines cover. It's been hit and miss post-Kate's. We'll see where it goes. My pick for this week, though, for Marvel would be Agents of Atlas 2. So most retailers ordered this before number 1 came out. So usually the concept, at least the ones I worked for, was order heavy on 1 and then drop your order for the second issue, sometimes by 5 to 10%. So more than likely your retailer is going to have less of them unless they manage to get in and up their order before final order. So just expect, be on the lookout for any ratio variants there are for it, because that's going to be the ones that if you can get in at a good price, you will see your most return on. But other than that, since there's all these introduction of new characters, just stash it, read it once, maybe get an extra copy. It's just my recommendation. And then after that, there's a ton of War of the Realms crossovers, Punisher, Strike Force, Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine the Infinity Watch comes out, X-Force 8. Neither of those that I'm currently reading right now, because honestly the whole X universe to me is a diminished property. There's too much of it, it's too diluted, and I think by stretching it out so much, they've hurt the brand. That's my opinion, though. People might have differing opinions, but anyway, I'm just putting it out there. Boom Studios' Bone Parish is out for those reading it still. But the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer run, trade paperback volume 1 comes out. I've liked it so far. I recommend picking it up. It does a newer twist on kind of how the show introduced things, and I'm digging it. Jordi Belaire's done a good job writing. And out of the kind of indie books, Animosity, I still read it on and off. I've become kind of a trade paperback person for that. Still, it's worth reading the early issues. I liked it. And from Valiant Comics, pretty much for me, Incursion number 4 will be one that I'll be picking up and reading. I'm actually pretty involved in the Valiant universe, weirdly enough. Hadn't been that way in a long time. And that is pretty much it. Some other little things for those who aren't kind of up to date with speculating and such as that. Four kids walk into a bank. Matthew Rosenberg had gone on Twitter saying that he's writing the script for it. Started picking up a little bit. It's been kind of a dead spec for 2 years now. But something to keep note of. You might see them cheap somewhere, so just kind of keep your eye on that. Lady Killer, Netflix is going to be picking up a bunch of Dark Horse properties. That's one that's rumored. So if you have them, might be time to grade them, or just make sure you put them to the side so you can find them easy once the actual announcement goes out. Those are really the two to really watch out for spec-wise for TV or movie stuff, at least in my opinion. It's going to be a real light week for me, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Unfortunately, War of the Realms is kind of really just flooding the whole market right now, and not a total fan of that. But what I am a fan of, great collected trades coming out this month. That's fantastic to see, and I love it. especially for the books they're coming out for. Other than that, I just want to thank you for joining me, and happy hunting on Wednesday, and always keep your eye out for that next hot book. Pick up a book you might actually normally not think you read if it's number one, and just check it out, just to see. Even just going outside of your genre, if you're superhero heavy, try something not superhero-y. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Comment, like, subscribe, share, and take care.